Jason Bourne is the 4th Jason Bourne movie in the series, and no, I'm not counting the Bourne Legacy because Matt Damon's not in it, and henceforth it's technically not even a Bourne movie, so 4th one. And yes, I'm not in my room right now, I'm at a different location, not at my house. Okay, this is where I'm at right now. Let's do a quick little tour. This is where everything is. This is amazing, right? Yeah, this is right there. Now look at the stairs. Where do these stairs go? Where do the stairs go? Oh, this is where. Oh, this is nice. Oh, yes. This is where I'm at right now. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty. There's a dock down there. There's some water. Yeah, it's really high up. I'm pretty scared right now. Don't get scared. That's a flick pick trademark. Oh crap! I'm gonna get sued. I'm so sorry, guys. Have you ever thought about, like, you know, jumping off from something like this and hoping to make it into the water, even though there's literally no way I could do that? I'd just land on the grass, unless I'm really lucky. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to review something. Don't worry, I'm still able to make videos though, isn't that amazing? But anyways, let's continue on with the review. Now, I'm gonna keep my synopsis for this movie kind of brief because the trailer actually did a really good job of not showing us everything about the plot. So I will say that Jason Bourne is still off the grid from the CIA, and he remembers some things about himself, but he still doesn't know the entire thing. And one day when Julia Stiles, once again playing Nikki Parsons, shows up and tells him some information about a new program named Iron Hand, Jason Bourne starts on another revenge path against the CIA while they are once again trying to hunt him down. Now, in 2014, when they announced Paul Greengrass and Matt Damon were going to team up and make another Bourne movie, I was instantly hyped. I reviewed the original Bourne trilogy in anticipation for this film. Words cannot describe how excited I was when the first trailer came out. And then I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score and I was like, oh no, please, don't do this to me, man. I've been so hyped for this movie. So I went in with a little bit of low expectations, not really knowing what to expect. I got 4 words to say to the Rotten Tomatoes score of this movie. I don't get it. To be honest, I was blown away by Jason Bourne. Now, would I say it's better than the original Bourne trilogy? No. But I would still say that it's almost as good as those movies if it weren't for 2 tiny gripes that I had that really, in the end, didn't affect my enjoyment of the movie in a big way. I had a really fun time with Jason Bourne, and I really love seeing Matt Damon back in the Jason Bourne role. He played it very well, and he is more silent this time around, like in the Bourne Supremacy, actually, which makes sense because in the Bourne Supremacy and this movie, they have in common that Jason Bourne is more on a revenge path, so it makes sense that he would be a little bit more silent like he was in the Bourne Supremacy. And the other performances from the actors were great as well, like Alicia Vikander. I thought she did a really good job. I saw Ex Machina earlier this year, and I immediately wanted to see more of Alicia Vikander, and now she's in Jason Bourne. That's really great. I want to see her in more stuff now. And I really dug her character too, because she starts off in one direction, and then they make a change, but then they do something near the end of the movie that had me like, oh, I actually was not expecting that to begin with. And Tommy Lee Jones is just terrific, so it makes sense that he is terrific in this movie, playing the old white villain in the other Jason Bourne movies. Now we have another white villain. And Vincent Cassel, he plays the asset of this movie, and I think he did a really good job. And in my opinion, I love Carl Urban to death, but I think this is the best assassin character that we've had in any of the Bourne movies, because they gave him a little bit of a backstory linked to Jason Bourne in the previous movies, and it makes you think, wow, I actually didn't think that what Bourne did would actually have that much of a consequence on people. And is it just me, or are the CIA stuff in this movie even more intriguing as the last? Because in this movie, it seems like the CIA is on top of most of the things Jason Bourne is doing, and it caused Jason Bourne to think of clever ways to get out of situations. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I think the CIA was more on top of the stuff going on, and that actually added to more suspense, which is another great thing about this movie, is the suspense is once again extremely nail-biting. Paul Greengrass's style was really good, the action sequences as well were extremely well directed, and the shaky cam did not bother me. And unfortunately, unlike the other Bourne reviews, this movie just came out, so I'm not going to spoil all the action scenes that are in this movie. I will talk about one that's mainly known about, like, already. It's a motorcycle chase during a Grease riot, and that scene was extremely intense, and there's some dramatic stuff that happens in there as well that got me hooked. It got me really hooked on this movie. It was a really great way to open up the movie with this really intense, nail-biting action scene. Like I said, that's the one that's been mainly shown in the promotion for this movie, so I'm not going to really talk about the other action sequences, but believe me, they're extremely well done, the chase scenes in particular, and the fight scenes as well, just really really ferocious. Some people are probably going to complain like, oh, this movie feels too familiar to another Bourne movie, which I can understand at first, but really, they're all the same movie. Like, if you go back and watch all of them and Jason Bourne, they all have the same kind of story. Not just Jason Bourne, all of them. All of them are similar as far as plot structure goes. What's really important, though, in my opinion, is what new things they bring to the table, how it's executed. And not only do I think that this movie was executed very well, but they actually did bring some new stuff to the table. Not just its action sequences, which I think are just as good as the other Bourne movies, but with the whole social media thing. A lot of people complained about this aspect of the movie, the social media. They said that the movie grinded to a halt just to talk about this social media thing, and they didn't really enjoy it. I actually don't get it. As I've already mentioned, I thought the social media was actually woven into the plot very well, and it actually helped separate this Bourne from the other one. It shows how Jason Bourne is now in a new world than when he was back in the original trilogy, and it shows how the times have changed. And it also helped make the program different than, oh, just another Black Ops thing. It actually helped make it more than that, and I appreciated that aspect. Like I said, though, I only have two really small gripes with this movie. One of them being, I didn't really find this movie as compelling as the other movies, and it's really just because of one thing, and that's the dialogue. I can't fully explain it, but there are some aspects to it where I'm like, alright, that's really intriguing. But then there are other times where the dialogue just didn't feel right. It felt like it was supposed to be in some other movie than just a Bourne movie, because it really wasn't that intriguing. And I was interested in what was going on with the plot, with Jason Bourne finding out more stuff about him, but I just wasn't as compelled as I was with the original trilogy. And my last gripe with this movie is that a character shows up. I'm not going to spoil who it is, but when this character showed up, their line delivery I thought was a little less than stellar, but the character's not there all that long, so it really isn't that big of a deal to me. Overall, I was blown away by Jason Bourne, and I really don't get that big hate that this movie got, like a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. I seriously don't get it. I'm gonna give Jason Bourne an A. As a fan of the original trilogy, I absolutely love this film. Despite those two gripes that I mentioned, I was absolutely blown away by this movie. I had a lot of fun, and I find it extremely underrated. Guys, please go see the movie for yourself. If you're skeptical because of the RT score, just go see it. I think if you're a big fan of Jason Bourne, I think you'll really enjoy this movie, like I did. Or maybe you won't. Maybe I'm just in the minority here. Oh boy. Sorry about this, guys. I forgot to mention this in the review, so here's an audio message basically telling you that one other thing that I really loved about this movie was the ending. It's a tradition for the Matt Damon movies to have really good endings, and that's the case here. When it happened, I had the biggest smirk on my face. I think it was the biggest smirk I think I've had in a while. It was such a perfect ending for this movie. But if you've seen Jason Bourne, leave in the comments below of what you thought of it. And guys, this week, Suicide Squad, are you excited? I'm super excited! I also have a question for you guys. As you know, I'm going to be doing a Q&A at some point. I've gotten all of your questions. I have them, so don't worry about it. I got them all. I'm ready for the Q&A. I just had a question. Should I make it live? I've never done a live, like, Google Hangout thing before, but would you guys like that, or do you just want the typical YouTube style, like the one I did last time, where it's just me sitting in front of the camera and answering it, and you get all the jump cuts and the fancy editing? Would you like that, or do you want a live stream? Just let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.